Hello, my name is Rich Howard, owner of Architectural Builder Supply. This video is to bring you a closer look at the Kwikset number 83373-004. This is a replacement cylinder only for their 83373 Smart Key style deadbolt. The 004, they don't really publish the part number to define it. Somewhere, and it could be the entire part number, we're being told it's a black cylinder plug face replacement cylinder only for their deadbolt, for their Smart Key deadbolt. The SMT deadbolt cylinder, single cylinder. A dead giveaway for me, of course, would be the tailpiece. That D-shaped style tailpiece is what they use on their deadbolts. Now, the Smart Key, I am familiar with how this works more than most average people. To distill it into its essence is that it's a really cool cylinder in terms of the technology on the inside. It's not unique, but it's pretty cool. Yeah, well, it may be unique in the sense that how it leverages the technology. First of all, there are no drivers in this at all. There are side pins or finger pins that are heavily serrated. There's a sidebar, and there's no traditional Bible, which is the portion that would stick up from the top of the cylinder where the pins and the drivers would reside, because there are no drivers, and that it employs a sidebar. So what happens in a sidebar technology, and lots of cylinders use sidebars and have for a very long time. It was actually Briggs and Stratton who invented the sidebar technology in a lock in 1935, and it was used in automotives for many, many years. The concept of a cylinder turning is the key, there's a blockage, and a key removes that blockage. The sidebar is a different type of blockage compared to the regular pin tumbler sort of cylinder where there's a Bible and the bottom pins rise up and down, and when there's a shear line created between the bottom pin and the driver pin or master pins or wafers, a shear line is created and the key will turn the cylinder. Well, in a sidebar, the same sort of concept has to happen, but it's just in a different format. So when the sidebar, when all of the gates are aligned on the side pins or the finger pins in the correct height, the sidebar can actually enter those gates, which is the fence. Because it's spring biased, when you turn the cylinder, it will be forced back into the cylinder plug. And if you were to dip your toe in the world of high security cylinders, I mean literally high security cylinders, not a Kwikset cylinder, you're going to see a lot of similar principles in those high security cylinders. In fact, it was, Medico who really deployed in a mass, sort of ultimate conquering of market share in North America, or at least in the United States, because it's a sidebar technology. There are many other cylinders that incorporate sidebars or some sort of derivative of that, where the solving of the Rubik's Cube, so to speak, is not at the top of the cylinder plug, but now is on one side or both sides. What I like about the sidebar technology, whether it's Schlage Primus or ASA Twin, let's say, or if it's Multi-Lock, or if it's Medico, who else uses sidebars? Sidebar technology. Scorpion cylinder, Scorpion is a brand. They use a sidebar technology. And the sidebars are generally used in addition to the traditional shear line, but they're used in very interesting ways in terms of how a particular person who will file a patent will deploy that sidebar in a really ingenious way. Novel enough, meaning it's different enough to have a patent. But it all goes back to 1935's Briggs and Stratton concept. But I think it's Medico who really champions it. Now, this has a sidebar. That's super cool. This cylinder is also highly pick resistant. I tried to pick one of these last Saturday, and I am no lock picker. Um, but because of the serrations that are on the finger pins, let's call them, I don't know their proper term because I don't have a technical manual. Um, it's there appears to be 5 or 6 of them. It's very you have no idea when you're lifting the pin to obtain a condition of shear where the gate will receive the fence of the sidebar because of those serrations. It's, I finally got to the point where I just mechanically disassembled the cylinder and took all the parts, took it apart piece by piece. Highly pick resistant. Now, what it won't really give you is any sort of resistance to an attack. There's a UL, Underwriters Laboratory standard called UL 437 that defines how long the cylinder has to survive when you're, drilling it, picking it, prying on it, wrenching it, doing every sort of staring at it with angry intent. The way that the cylinder survives a physical attack, impressioning, trying to create a key by the method of impressioning. This is by no means going to survive any sort of brute force attack at all. It's a very low cost cylinder, but it's really brilliant in the fact that they've taken this really highfalutin technology that you see in cylinders that are $200 each, applied it to this, but then took it a step further and made it a smart key. So because of the way that the side pins are arranged, you can insert your key and turn it. You can then, the entire side pin apparatus is within a cradle that is spring biased, and you can set that, then enter a new key and rearrange the combination at which those serrated side pins and what are the pins itself that are in the pin chambers will acknowledge as the proper key. So really, really brilliant. Okay. Now, what also is nice about this is it's not going to be bumped. I may have read somewhere that this is virtually bump proof because this does not operate on the same type of principle as what it would take for a bump key to work. I don't really see it being realistic that you're going to get this to be bumped at all. And considering the fact that this is a mass manufactured piece of equipment, it's really phenomenal how well it works. So the bottom line is, if you're not concerned, we're just talking about the Smart Key cylinder platform. If you don't need to survive attack on a cylinder for a particular amount of time, and you very much would like the convenience of being able to rekey it yourself, and you aren't, let's say, necessarily concerned about someone surreptitiously duplicating your key, because this is probably the most common key blank in the history of civilization, would be my guess. I was told that Kwikset actually ships 1 million locks a day. I don't have any reason to doubt it at all. But the fact of the matter is, if you're not concerned about key control, and you do like the convenience of immediately changing your keys to something else, this might be perfect for you. It wouldn't be perfect for you if you don't want unknown copies out there, and certainly wouldn't be good for you at all if you were concerned about attack. There's no doubt that when I was working on that cylinder the other day, I could have brute force twisted that cylinder to gain entry to basically the tailpiece, or drill that out and pull that whole portion of it out and then physically just manipulate the latch bolt. And if you're not concerned with that, then, frankly, I wouldn't be in many instances. The hallmark of these high security manufacturers, what they really hang their hat on, is not the fact that they're pick proof, because they're not. I've seen people pick these locks that, I was in a annual educational event for Aloha, and I was speaking to someone seminal in the history of the Medico company, and his attitude about picking a cylinder is basically, Given enough energy, any cylinder can be opened. Given enough investment, okay? If there's a key that will work it, then there's a way to open the cylinder. And the fact that this is the distillation of incredibly ingenious concepts tossed into a consumer grade, empowering you as the consumer to take over control of who rekeys their material. It's pretty cool. Anyway, so this is a deadbolt cylinder only in black. I do not know how that part number changes as black changes. It could just literally be 83373- something something. It will be a cylinder only, but yet in a different color, because they're going to certainly offer this in a nickel or a chrome, a satin or a polished brass, obviously black, who knows what else. I'll tell you what I like about Kwikset is I've called them a couple of times in the past, and they have been very helpful. I'm not calling them to say, oh, I don't understand the difference between 2 3/4 and 2 3/8. I'm trying to speak to them on a technical level, putting my locksmith hat on, and they're great. For the world's largest producer of lock sets, I think on a daily basis, they know how to talk to their professionals as well. If you have any questions on the Kwikset 83373-004 replacement Smart Key Deadbolt Cylinder or any other Kwikset product, please feel free to reach out to us. And thank you.